today's presentation. You may notice cameras and microphones are turned off, so we may focus on the presentation today. However, you are encouraged to use the chat feature to engage, network, ask questions, etc. We will also be putting up a few poll questions that will pop up on your screen during the session for some added engagement. And first, we want to sort of make sure we go over our accessibility for inclusive meetings. Southern New Hampshire University is dedicated to an inclusive meeting experience. If you would like to enable live captions, just select the three dots at the top of the Microsoft Teams window to expand the More menu, choose Language and Speech from the dropdown, and click Show Live Captions. Captions will show on your screen as the presenters are speaking during the session. We're also presenting using PowerPoint Live. This means you can click any of the hyperlinks in the presentation. PowerPoint Live also provides additional accessibility options. You may select the three dots at the bottom of the presentation slides, in which you will find a magnify slide option with a minus sign to zoom out or a plus sign to zoom in, a toggle button to view slides in high contrast, and the option to translate the slide text from English to a preferred language. These features only affect your individual experience and not the overall presentation. So please feel welcomed to use the available accessibility options at your discretion. Individuals with accessibility needs requiring accommodation may always reach out to the following resources. If you are an online student, you can contact the Southern New Hampshire University Online Accessibility Center at oac@snhu.edu or by calling 866-305-9430. Our campus students can contact the Campus Accessibility Center at cac@snhu.edu or by calling 603-644-3118. And Southern New Hampshire University staff and faculty can request accommodation through the resources presented in Workday or on the source. Please note that any request for CART or live ASL interpretation requires at least 3 weeks advance notice. All right, so we're just gonna do a quick introduction to meeting your presenters today. First off, other than these, we have several career members sort of behind the scenes helping us out, and so thank you to them. But these are the voices that you're going to be hearing today. Hi, I'm sort of your MC. My name is David Baresh. I'm the Career Services Specialist. I've been here at SNU for about 8 years, and I'll be handling sort of your general questions and just sort of presenting the presentation here.
Hi everyone, I'm Daisy. I mentioned it already, but I'm based in Texas. I've been with SNHU for, it'll be 4 years next month. I'm one of the employer relations partners on the team, specifically responsible for the Northeast. I'll be talking a lot today about the content and kind of meat and potatoes of the presentation as well.
Hey, Peter Bartel. I reside in Pensacola, Florida, and been with SNHU for 7 years. Good to have you all here today. I'll be presenting on complete, incomplete profiles and collections.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dana McGrath. I am an employer relations partner on the employer relations team with SNHU Career Services. I work with employers headquartered in mid-Atlantic states, and being in New Hampshire, it sounds like I just noticed we represent coast to coast with the four of us, so that's pretty cool. So I will be just sharing some kind of why tips for what we talk about on the key features today.
I did forget to mention this when it was my turn. I'm actually located in Honolulu, Hawaii, so aloha to all of you out there in the eastern states. All right, so this is today's agenda. As a team, we are going to walk you through Handshake, why you should be using it for your job search, and how you can leverage the tools it provides. Finally, we'll be ending with answering any of the questions you have along the way. So please feel free to post your questions into the chat. We have several team members who are in the chat helping out today, and so you may get an answer immediately as soon as you ask it, but even if we aren't able to get it quite there, don't fret not. We will make sure to hold space at the end to answer any remaining questions you might have or any questions we want to sort of flag for general talking about at the end of the presentation. So We're going to start off with how confident are you with Handshake? Do you feel like you're already one of our super users, somebody who knows all of its ins and outs? Or do you feel like somebody dipping their toes into the pool, unsure of the water before they take a plunge? Just please give us a rating on the poll that will be popping up, which should best reflect your confidence with using Handshake, with a lower number showing a lack of confidence with the platform and a higher number being sort of more confidence with the platform. Just give us a rating with your confidence. It will be able to sort of better help us understand how we as a team can help you today. Our next question, what is Handshake for you? Is it a place to find jobs and internships? Is it a site to research potential employers? Is it a place to attend special events and connect with recruiters and your fellow students? Or is it just a messaging platform like a WhatsApp for jobs, where potential employers can message you their opportunities? Just choose each option from what you have used Handshake for in the past. Um, If you feel like the answer is all of the above, good news is you're correct. But it's good to just have us be able to take track of sort of what your impressions of it are. Some of the links today may require you to log into Handshake. Your My SNHU credentials are your key to logging into this included resource as a Southern New Hampshire student or alumni. You could use the single sign-on option or log in manually. If you have any issues logging in, just reach out to our team and we can help you resolve those for you in generally about 1 to 2 business days. For anyone who may have had their Handshake profile pulled up, you're welcome to post a link to that in the chat so your fellow students can help connect with you.
Awesome. So we're going to talk really quickly and establish basically a baseline for Handshake and what Handshake is and why it's important. So in Handshake's own words, Handshake is where opportunity meets intention. It's designed to connect you with employers, events, and experiences tailored to your unique journey. In plain English, though, what does that mean? In essence, Handshake is much more than a job board. It's more of a career platform. It's a one-stop shop where you can get career resources, you can engage and network with peers and employers, search for jobs, attend events. We'll cover a lot of that here today. So how do you make Handshake work for you? The best way to do that is to engage with Handshake. That's going to include networking, making sure your profile's built out, building your brand on Handshake, using the job and event search features. Employers are connected with SNHU and Handshake. They're here, they want to talk to you. You're going to hear me say that quite a lot today. And in total, our employers post around 9,000 jobs and internships each month. So they're here, they want to talk to you. As for the why of Handshake, it really comes down to investing in yourself, your education, your future, and putting all of your hard work into an end result, hopefully a meaningful career. So this is going to look like utilizing tips and tricks from this presentation and just making sure that you are really amplifying your career strategy and getting the most out of it that you possibly can. You can also click the link for the Handshake tutorials at the bottom. Again, this is a Microsoft Live presentation, so you can just go ahead and click on that directly. It's also linked out on our YouTube channel, and I believe it's also been dropped in the chat as well. But let's go ahead and talk about the why of Handshake a little bit more. So there's a lot of numbers on the slide. We're going to run through them really quick here. There's over 145,000 SNHU students and alumni active on the platform. So that means that you have an automatic built-in peer base that you can connect with and network with as well. Again, I already mentioned there's an average of 9,000 jobs and internships posted each month by our employers. There's over 24,000 employers approved in Handshake, and we're adding about 240 employers a month. If you are conscious of what that might mean, I can assure you that those employers are all viewed and looked at by us, so they are really some excellent employers as well. And there's an average of 40 employer hosted sessions hosted in Handshake per month. So again, that's me telling you that employers are there and they want to engage with you and they want to see what you're doing. I will also note, though, that Handshake is huge and it has a lot of users and a lot of features. And so, because of that, they're constantly looking to update and improve and remain an efficient product for you to use. So, there may be changes, especially to what your profile looks like, coming in the near future. But our core main points are still very relevant, regardless of what Handshake looks like.
All right. So, your profile is your first stop when logging into Handshake. It's also the first impression you give to employers and other students on there. So, what should you include on your Handshake profile? What are employers looking for when they look at your profile? Are they just checking out your major and moving on, or do they want to stop to see sort of your work experience? Do they follow links on your profile, such as your LinkedIn? And what is the impact of having a profile picture? Just going to give you a little bit more information about that.
All right. You can see this is a low impact profile, right? As insinuates the photo, kind of dull, halfway sleeping, right? Some key points on this you'll see bulleted, but complete your profile as David was kind of referencing, and get it as close to 100% completion as possible, because you do want employers to stay on your page, right? Not just see what your major is, but also what you've done. Remember, this is your brand, right? Handshake is a form of a social media platform profile, so treat it as such. It curates content um, and syncs it with other platforms too. So definitely important to have a completed profile. Handshake employers and career staff use this information to tailor your Handshake experience. So that's beneficial furthermore for you when connecting as career office information has been shared with our career staff, so they can have a point B or C to start at, right? Instead of a point A, or employers, as David mentioned as well. No photo is referenced, job type, experience, some other areas too, location matters. So those are some different things that can make your profile low impact versus the next slide that you want to see, which is high impact, right? A lot more captivating. You can just see it vibrant in the photo, right? High impact profiles all are 100% complete. You want to strive for that number, right? And reach out to our career services office to help you get there. If you're maybe struggling on a portion or two, is highlighted here of what you can do to help yourself get to that 100%. That's what we're here for. We mentioned curation. That's to be maximized with a completed profile from all the information. You're going to populate more for employers, as David mentioned. Your job search is going to be more tailored on jobs that you may see. When you're searching for jobs, it's going to map up a lot of time jobs that are more interested based on what you've put in your profile, whether it's skills, previous experiences, etc. A clear and professional headshot is one of the things mentioned here that helps with a high impact profile. Include details about project experience, etc. Right? Remember, school projects matter. That counts as experience. So don't be afraid to list things like that, and update your career interests in some other areas too that are definitely important to have a high impact profile. We'll see a screenshot here of a high impact versus low impact, right? And naturally, I think most of us should put it in the comments. Do you look at the one on the right first or the left? Daisy or Dana's, right? And I'd venture to guess the majority are going to say your eyes go to the right, right, with Dana's. It's that completed profile, that 100%, so to speak, or near it. Dana has the locations listed of preference. She has the summary listed of preference. A lot of things that make that kind of stand out more, right, than the profile. Not knocking Daisy, but on the left side, right? Daisy's got a no photo listed, as you can see, which isn't a must, but it definitely, makes it more complete if you are able to or prefer to. And then the looking for is pretty sparse, etc. So you can clearly see the difference between the two. The curation more so would be lending towards the one on the right. The left, yeah, maybe, seeing some jobs or internships that don't align.
And if your career search, if it feels like it's in a lull, try logging into Handshake and updating your profile. Try to make that low impact into a high impact. Work to make it as high impact as you can, and the SNHU Career Advising team, they can certainly help to guide you in what would be key to include based upon your specific goals. Handshake reports this statistic: you may be more than 5 times more likely to be messaged by a recruiter with relevant opportunities if you're showcasing your best professional self with a complete updated profile.
All right. So we all have different levels of experience and familiarity with Handshake, but let us talk about what Handshake is most well known for: finding jobs and internships. So just please let us know. Have you used Handshake to search for jobs or internships yet?
Alrighty. Um, like the poll question insinuated, searching for jobs or internships on Handshake, right? Here's the best ways to search for jobs or internships on Handshake. Remote, on-site, or hybrid, and the tutorial links were shared by Daisy and in the chat as well. There's tutorials on all of these different areas that are going to be covered. So if you want a little more nuanced information, absolutely secure that link and refer to it. Remote, on-site, or hybrid types of jobs, full-time, part-time internship are filtered there, available. Geographic location, relevant majors, and the SNHU collections as well, which we'll get into on the next slide, but all great ways to, to really curate your search, right? And again, going back to that profile, let that profile help this from the start to curate that search for you. All right, so collections. This is a very, very important piece of Handshake. As was mentioned, we have over 24,000 employers connected on Handshake with SNHU. That's amazing, right? And we just did one of the tutorial videos is specifically on collections, as was mentioned above, but coming through hundreds of jobs to determine what might be relevant can be a tough place to try and begin, right? If you can relate to this, you want to check out collections in Handshake. This can really help you all drill down to relevant options as a starting point and can make the internship or job search process a lot less overwhelming. And
Sorry about that, Peter, if I moved the slide a little early. Do you want to go back? We're good?
go ahead.
Okay, awesome. So the SNHU Career Advising team, they have expressed to us, that some students may feel a little bit disappointed with Handshake, right? They're not finding those relevant internships or jobs. They're not getting notification alerts for opportunities that are relevant. They might be outside of their geographic range. There's no desire to relocate. So putting that into perspective, this scenario: imagine someone asks you for a recommendation to a restaurant they've never been to before, but they might love. So they don't tell you what kind of food they like. They don't know where they live. You don't know where they live. You don't know if they're traveling somewhere specific. They didn't tell you about any food allergies, and you're not aware of any restaurants where they've ever eaten before. Could you provide valuable, relevant recommendations from that? Because I certainly couldn't, but I could give them recommendations of my favorite restaurants, but those might be totally off base for the other person. So when you interact on Handshake, help it get to know you, get to know your skills, your interests, your preferences. All that information makes the platform work better for you and ideally improves those recommendations. So the details in your profile, keywords that you're searching, filters that you're using, jobs or internships that you click on, employer collections that you explore, events you register for, every single piece of that ties into that algorithm to help curate a customized career exploration experience for you through Handshake. So the key message, of course: Handshake's job recommendations get better and smarter the more you use the platform.
Awesome. So we talked a lot about how to use Handshake, and now we're going to drill down a bit more into the slightly more ephemeral ways to use Handshake, which is going to be networking. Here are a couple of really key ways on how you can network and use Handshake. So the first and foremost is going to be to attend events like this one. Oftentimes, we're the ones who are hosting the events. We're real people who have worked to make sure that the content is relevant to you and targeted to you so that it can help you. So I would definitely encourage you to attend events. Employers also host events as well. So it can be ways for them to talk to you about what positions they have, what the company is like. There's lots of events that you can attend and learn from. I also recommend the People tab on your Handshake account. So this is going to be SNHU students and alumni that you can search through. So you can search and see what companies they've worked at, what their major is, and oftentimes if their profile is listed as public, you can message them directly. So I've seen some comments in the chat about people who are maybe feeling like they're the only ones who are struggling, and that's absolutely not the case. So I would definitely encourage you to use that peer-to-peer networking, establish your village basically, and make sure that you can lift up others as well as learn from their experiences as well. I also encourage you to use the inbox setting in Handshake. We do actually hear from employers fairly often that they message students in Handshake and don't receive responses. So I would certainly say that checking your inbox, responding to employers is a really key way to network. And even if the answer is, I'm not interested in this opportunity, that's okay. You can still tell them, you can still have a conversation, and then maybe in the future they have a different position that is relevant to you, or you can come back and ask them questions later. Finally, there's also the Handshake feed, and I would definitely encourage interaction in the feed itself. This is, again, your peers, it's your community, and all of it is focused on careers. So it's very topical. It's a way for you to pick up tips and tricks and resources, and again, continue to grow that network. And we'll also talk a little bit further about events and messaging, but I definitely recommend these 4 strategies.
All right. So, as Daisy just called out, we're going to take a moment to talk a little bit more about these events. So, Handshake is the home to dozens of events every month, hosted both by employers on the platform as well as our career services team. Aside from this one, have you ever attended an event on Handshake before? If you have, just let us know in chat. Who hosted it? What was it about? What do you remember about it? What sort of held your interest about it?
Try to think, my first Handshake event was for an international program. So that was a really fun event that I attended. So I'd love to hear, what kind of events you've attended in the chat. However, as we've said, attending events is important. So you can see here on the screen how you can actually utilize Handshake to find and register and attend these events. But I really will, again, drive home the fact that employers are on Handshake and they are looking to connect with you. So again, they are hosting events, we are hosting events. This also includes career fairs as well. So I would certainly just really drive down the fact that employers are there. It is also in general a great way, like I said, to learn about the companies, the roles that they have, company culture, company fit. Maybe it helps you narrow down on what your dream organizations are or are not. That's also a great way to learn about that sort of impact on your life. And again, networking with employers, making connections that may pay off for you in the future to build that network and learn about whatever industry you are interested in that is relevant to your major.
All right. So we are getting near the end of our presentation here, and I just wanted to thank you for sticking with us so far. Handshake, like any social media platform, though, has a robust direct messaging feature allowing you to contact other people on the platform. So, our question, have you used the messaging feature before on Handshake? If so, again, just let us know in chat. Who did you reach out to? Have you used it to reach out to another student? Was it one of our staff here? Or did you know that you could even message a recruiter directly from one of your first choice employers? Just let us know in chat, and we'd love to hear some more about that.
That rhymed, David. Let us know in chat. We'll hear more about that. Love that. So messaging is a really great way to make you stand out with an employer because, again, maybe they are reached out to students and they're not hearing back from students. So if you're the one who is responding to them or proactively outreaching to the employers who have listed themselves as public and available for messages, that's going to make you stand out. It is, again, a really great way to build the network, to find future opportunities for informational interviews, to find options for, networking. Maybe they've got secret events that they're hosting that they're a little bit private about, and they can invite you to get a personalized look as well. But it just does in general give you a leg up because it's a feature that is there for you to use, and it's going to help you stand out.
And I'll just talk about networking. The thought of networking, it really used to be uncomfortable for me, standing in a room with a bunch of strangers, trying to sneak my way into an existing conversation, maybe make some awkward small talk and eventually, exchange business cards. And I'm sure everyone could feel that I didn't want to be there, but I was standing in my own way, right? So because after some time in this role, I've learned networking is simply chatting with someone new. You're both allowed to decide if it's worthwhile to learn more, build that professional relationship, or not. And any successful new connection is a new web of potential contacts. So that is why your network is your net worth, because relationship currency, also called social capital, it's so important in your career journey. People usually want to help and work with the people who they like and they trust. So use Handshake to find your people. And if you had a piece of advice resonate with you today, please feel free to post that in the chat, or just reflect on it about about it yourself. So, what will be your first step to level up your career using Handshake? And of course, we suggest using Handshake as a stepping stone for networking. Maybe find someone that's in the chat today and connect with them on Handshake. Maybe send them a message, get that practice, and start building that network.
Sorry about that. All right, here at Career Services, we seek to empower you to take ownership of your career journey, but you are not alone along the way. As a Southern New Hampshire University student or graduate, it is an included lifetime benefit to connect with Career Services team and to utilize the broad array of connections within the Southern New Hampshire University network. If you have a more detailed or individual questions on how to work through Handshake, absolutely please connect with a Southern New Hampshire University career advisor to schedule some time together by emailing us at cocecareer@snhu.edu. Again, that is cocecareer@snhu.edu, or by calling us at 1-888-672-1458. All right. Well, congratulations for reaching the end of our presentation today. Just wanted to thank you for spending time out of your day with us and going through the Handshake platform and its use. And if you could just let us know now, how confident are you with using the Handshake platform? All right. So I know that we've had some questions along the way, and we'd like to take a bit of time now to answer some of them that people have posted in chat. Also, if you have a question now, feel free to put it in chat and we will get to this. All right. So for our first question, let's go with, how would you recommend I use Handshake to gain the attention of employers when I graduate in 2026, but will be unavailable to work until I retire from the military in 2028? I think that is an excellent question. If we'd like one of our people to hop in and answer that.
Yeah, I can take that one, David. And I think that the answer for that is really to apply all that we've said today. So I understand that you're about 2 years out from being really active in your job search, but I don't think there's any such thing as starting too soon. So I would still, even if you are 2 years out, attend the events, make the networking happen, build the relationships now, so that whenever you are 2 years out, it should hopefully be easier for you to come back around and say, hey, I'm now at this point in time about to retire from military service and I'm looking for a position. Do you have any available? Do you know of any? Because you spent the time building the framework now.
All right. Then we're going to move on. Hopefully that was a satisfactory answer. We're going to move on to the next question. Came in. I update my resume about once a month and have it professionally reviewed. What other suggestions do you have? And I assume that is what other suggestions for getting your profile recognized, engaging with Handshake, moving forward, and all that stuff. So, if you could.
I would recommend doing what you're doing. I do not know, and it doesn't, it's fine. I'm glad you're having it professionally reviewed. Reach out to our career services office monthly or on a cadence as well, if not already. It's awesome to have different people look at it. I would have, maybe industry professionals look at it as well, maybe message some on Handshake as well to look at it additionally. Asking for feedback is a great way to start that network, right? Never too early to network as well. I know the focus here is on the resume, but is another resource. Also, Handshake makes it very easy to interact with your fellow students and other SNHU alumni. So take advantage of that resource as well and message them back and forth and say, hey, what do you think of my resume, XYZ? And look at theirs, right? Find people from similar majors or with similar interests and maybe pick and pull some formatting things from their resume that you think maybe you didn't think about or would look appealing on your resume. And then lastly, just certifications in general. Keep that in mind. That's more of like something if you don't have or is available to you to maybe spruce up your resume or make it even look a little more appealing that you can focus on while you're a student or after you graduate.
All right. So another question came in. Does this is this platform specific to United States-based opportunities, or does it support global students and alumni who might be outside of the United States? Um, I was gonna, if just to answer that real quick. So the quick answer is that we support United States-based companies in Handshake. So while there are opportunities outside the United States that are available on Handshake, the majority of them will be United States based. And that's just because the companies are located primarily within the United States, and we sort of focus on that as a result. Which is not to say that there are none available. It's just level of balance. All right. So our next question, what is the best way to research for employers?
I'll jump in. So I think collections is a great way to start because we spend some time looking through employers that we may have connected with in the past or that post some really great opportunities on the platform. So certainly check out the SNHU collections. Again, going to that career center page from your homepage and scrolling down to collections and viewing them by your major or if you have certain interests. So I think that's a really good spot to start. And then also, interact with the platform, look up different keywords that, titles that you're interested in that you may have heard of. Look up people that have similar career paths that you've had, maybe on the people tab, and look at where they've worked because that could be a really good path to see, where has someone with my experience ended up, and what kind of employers might be hiring in my field. And same thing with the jobs tab. Look through who is actively hiring and kind of find those maybe diamonds in the rough that'll be a really great career platform for you.
All right. Another one of the questions that got asked, I think, is a very important one. How many years do you go back on a resume?
I can hop in. Randy mentioned this answer in the chat. I'm going to give it in two parts. So the easy answer is I'm going to say roughly 10 years. The more complicated answer is it vastly depends on the role, your experience, the relevancy of your experience. We always encourage you to tailor your resume to each and every job application. So if you have doubts or concerns, or if you're not sure, I would strongly encourage you to reach out to your career advisor and have that conversation because even though I say 10 years, it could be a completely different answer for yourself.
All right. Excellent. Another question we got. I'm changing careers to project management. Is it possible to get a job before graduating?
Yes. Um, yes, for sure. Handshake, oftentimes, as with many companies, right, at least a competitive advantage is bachelor's degree preferred, but that doesn't mean it's totally a no. I also, beyond project management roles, maybe an inside lever into companies is starting in a more entry point position within organizations, showing your worth, being able to show as well, hey, I'm currently in school. I have these projects, this experience in project management. Is there an opportunity for me within that organization already to move upward into that project management role? So even if those project management roles on Handshake are saying bachelor's degree required, preferred, etc., just understand that maybe you can look at other opportunities on Handshake that you may be able to get as an entry point as a student, and then work upward in that organization from there. Remember, companies love to promote from within. So that would be my answer for that.
All right. Thank you, Peter. This one I definitely wanted to speak to. What is Coco on Handshake? I just logged in for the first time in a while and I noticed that. So, Coco is an AI assistant that Handshake used to sort of help people with building their profile, with finding events, with basically the usage of the platform of Handshake. It is something that Handshake is phasing out presently. Um, but more think of it less as being phased out as more as sort of being incorporated behind the scenes into everything that they are doing. They are going to be working with sort of integrating the what was sort of off on the side siloed to just Coco into the full user experience. All right. Um, Next question. I haven't worked in 20 years due to raising my kids. How do I explain that to a potential employer? I think that is an amazing question.
I think so too. I jumped on this one. I'm so sorry, David. I was really excited to answer this one. And I will say again that this answer kind of comes in multiple parts. I would first of all encourage you to absolutely reach out to your career advisor, have that conversation because they can help you to put that on your resume and phrase what you have been doing, the job you have been doing for the past 20 years, and how it is transferable to whatever job that you are looking to transition into. So, absolutely, that is something that I think you should do and learn how to sell that. I On a slightly more personal note, I would definitely say that the right employer is going to fully understand that gap and it shouldn't need to be something that you have to overly explain. But again, I will defer to your career advisor, so I would certainly encourage you to reach out to them.
All right. So, I think that sort of brings us to the end of our questions. If anybody has any more questions at this time, absolutely, please just pop them into chat so we know to answer them for you. Oh, we just got one here. I find it very difficult to find a job before graduating, despite my experience as a business owner. It's not the best of times for the job market, given our current economy. What do you suggest to stay positive?
I I appreciate that question, Bea. Like a bicycle, right? Stay consistent. Do that networking every day on Handshake, and maybe if you have other platforms, look for jobs. Internships were mentioned before, part-time opportunities, volunteering in Handshake to make sure that's consistent. Those types of things, right? Like volunteering, especially, the pool can sometimes be a little smaller for, but it's a great way to start networking and start meeting people, and think about things like that as part of your job search, because I understand what you're saying in today's economy, right? So do things that you know you can absolutely can do, or start, riding that bicycle a little easier beyond just the, I get it, we have to start at point A, applying for jobs, internships, etc. to begin with, but do some other things like volunteering or looking at other experiences that may be a little easier to do, and think about things like that as part of your job search. Like Daisy mentioned, absolutely reach out to our career advising team that Corey mentioned in the chat there as well. But that would be my thoughts on that.
I would love
Thank
to
you.
add to that too, if I could, really quick. I would really encourage you with that mindset to take a look at what is on your Handshake feed. I think also your LinkedIn feed, but to be Handshake specific, Handshake has a lot of content creators, and content creation in general is really growing on the feed. So I would definitely take a look into how the feed works for you, who you can follow, who you can unfollow, if maybe you're not finding that they have a positive or impactful measure on your job search. So definitely own your space, customize Handshake to be all that it can be for you, and make sure that you manage that feed as well.
All right. This did just get answered in chat, but I do want to call it out. Is there a way to filter out volunteer type opportunities? Yes, yes, there is. So if anybody would like to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, the screenshot refer to that. I explained it perfect, but you can see that live too. We did a video in one of our tutorials on that question, Melody. So I'm one that I prefer to see stuff live as well in action, but that screenshot shows it really well. Beyond volunteer, you can see all of the things you can filter and pick and click. So it's a great video.
All right. Another question. How do I note on my profile that I am not currently looking for employment, such as I can on LinkedIn?
There are certainly ways where you can turn off notifications and kind of set the preferences on if you want a certain amount of alerts or if you don't want alerts. You can make your profile not public. So there are definitely options where you can look at your settings in Handshake for your specific profile and edit to be able to, there's no specific way to say, besides putting it maybe in your summary, that you're not looking specifically for work right now. But it's never a bad idea just to use the platform to network, because you never know who could be a connection for your next opportunity. So like Peter said, that consistency, continuing to make connections for your career development. Um, but as long as, if you do want to just cut off any messages from employers, there are ways to turn off certain notifications or make your profile not or private instead of public.
All right, thank you very much. Is Handshake effective for candidates with extensive experience or better for entry level? That is a very good question.
I feel like the answer to a lot of these questions is it depends, which I know is sort of a non-answer, but I think it really does depend. At its core, Handshake is probably going to feel like it's more for entry-level roles, but that is absolutely not the case. And we do a lot to ensure that Handshake has a really robust amount of offerings for our very diverse student population. There you go. There's my answer.
To sort of just build on what Daisy said, it is employers are in control of the jobs that they submit. We're in control of the jobs that you can see. We do our best to make sure that all of the jobs available are jobs that are good for you, jobs that are that are at all levels of experience, because we want to recognize the fact that our students have a wide range of experiences before they come to us here at Southern New Hampshire University and before they re-enter the job field or choose to pivot to wherever they're going. So we try to make sure that we are curating a list of employers that are going to submit jobs that are not just for entry level positions, but for that full spectrum of experience. All right. Is there help in building a resume that can be used for multiple applications, or is it easier to have a keyword switch out?
I'm happy to take this one real quick just to provide some insight. This is a conversation I actually just had with an employer earlier this week. So a lot of recruiters, they know if you're sending the quick Indeed apply resume, or if you're sending a resume out that is the same and you're just sending 100 of the same resume out. So I think customization and working with a career advisor at SNHU can help you also with the optimization of giving you the best chance to get in front of the recruiter. So rather than, taking that time and effort to just send out the same resume, I really do think taking maybe that extra 15 minutes, really reading through the job description and aligning it to your experience is going to have a better return on your time, your investment, than just sending out hundreds of resumes and hoping something comes into your lap. So I do think that keyword switch out is definitely important. So, connect with SNH Career Advising. That's what we're here for, to be able to, help you find those pathways and connect those keywords and really optimize for your best opportunities.
All right. Well, we are coming up on time. So this is going to be our last question. Again, if you have any remaining questions, absolutely, please do send them to us at the COCE at career or COCE career at Southern New Hampshire University or snhu.edu email address. Please reach out to our career advisors. We would love to continue to answer several of these questions to be able to do our best to assist you. But our last question here is, I get discouraged sometimes to consider a position due to the extensive requirements some job postings have. Should I take all requirements literally?
Yes and no. Yes, because they're listing it on the job description, right? But have an understanding that very rarely does anyone have 100% of the skills listed in any job description, and recruiters have an understanding of that, right? So, I don't want to put a percentage on it, but if you feel a competent percentage, of the skills and room for growth, right? You just got to be given an opportunity, and then you can learn and grow and everything, and that's what you want to showcase, right? So absolutely, yes, apply for those opportunities, but that was kind of the like yes and no answer to it. I would also say as well, like, don't ever feel like if you're on the fence with applying for a job, just apply, right? What's the worst that they can say is no? You put your best foot forward. You connect with our career advisors here on our team and tell them, hey, I'm thinking about this position. I have X, Y, Z, and E skills, but they're asking for A and B skills, and I don't feel like I really have that. See what they say as well, right? I love that question. That's a great question, but just have a full understanding, as recruiters do, that very rarely do they see people that are 100% qualified every single time.
All right. So with that, thank you all for taking some time out of your day. We hope that you learned something. We hope that you had a good experience, and we hope to see you on Handshake. All right. Take good care and have a wonderful day.
Thanks all. Have a great one.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.